And let's go now to North Dakota and talk to Joel Heitkamp, the host of News and Views on KFGO in Fargo. He's, of course, been following the story from the very beginning. Joel, thank you so much for joining us. And I just want to jump right in here. The last administration, at the last minute, really made the position that they were going to rely on science. They had the Army Corps of Engineers redoing this environmental impact study of what it would mean to cross the river. Now Trump wants to expedite any study. How do you see this playing out?
Well, it's going to play out in a dangerous way. That's how it's going to play out. Obviously, the protesters are going to come back. The vast majority of the arrests that were made on the site were from people out of state. They weren't Native Americans. Certainly, there were some Native Americans, but I just heard, you know, the quote from Chase Iron Eyes. They're gearing up already. This is going to get worse before it gets better. No question about that.
And I'm curious about that, with Chase Iron Eyes and others saying, yes, they are gearing up to get ready. Obviously, they had so much resolve for this issue down on the ground in the past 6 months last year. How is Morton County Sheriff's Department going to handle this? Are they going to act as the muscle for Energy Transfer Partners? Well,
the Morton County Sheriff's Office already has called upon assistance from other counties. The Cass County Sheriff, which is the area of Fargo, which is 3.5 hours away from Morton County site, has been spending all of his time there since September and handling pretty much what they're calling the riot control area. So the Morton County Sheriff's Office really isn't equipped for something like this, but they're calling upon all the help they can get from the North Dakota Highway Patrol and others. And my guess is you're going to see the governor call out the National Guard.
Are you sensing a sense of frustration there on the ground from law enforcement, knowing that they haven't had any backup from federal authorities?
Well, certainly. Law enforcement is frustrated. They've given up their holidays. They've given up their weekends. These men and women have been in harm's way. They've been accused of things that we found out weren't true. In fairness to the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, I'm not sure that they were the genesis of some of these things. The big frustration here in North Dakota is that the protesters that have had the biggest cause and effect of what some might call riots, what some might call physical violence, what some might call active protests, have been people from out of state, and they haven't been Native Americans.
Joel, where are the local leaders on this one? We haven't heard a lot from them. Do they have any sway when it comes to this issue?
Absolutely none. Obviously, the local leaders here, North Dakota is a very Republican state. Voted at about a 62% clip for Donald Trump. Everyone here expected Donald Trump to change what the Obama administration did when it came to the Dakota Access Pipeline. So as much as congressmen want to issue, our lone congressman here wants to issue a press release, it really wasn't anything to do with him. Everybody knew it was going to happen anyway with Donald Trump. Many of us who are active with the oil patch here in the Williston Basin know that transporting oil by pipeline is the safest way to transport it. And North Dakota, at one point in the last season, was the #2 oil-producing state in the United States of America.
Do people there expect to see a lot of job growth because of this pipeline? Are they gunning for this?
No, they know there won't be any job growth. What people want most out of the Dakota Access Pipeline, on behalf of all North Dakotans, I think I can say this, other than the Standing Rock Sioux tribe and the people on the downstream side, is they just want the problem to go away. They don't want it to play out on the front page of the paper and on the national press anymore. North Dakota has received a very big black eye over this. Some might say because of the way they've handled some of it. It's my personal belief that the governor of the state of North Dakota could easily have gone down to Standing Rock, and the North Dakota Public Service Commission, which oversaw the permitting of all this, could have went to the reservation, treated the Native Americans with the respect they're due, and tried to work out something prior to this ever getting to that point.
Do you imagine at this point, I know it's kind of a frozen area out there right now, do you imagine construction's going to start right away? It seems that that's what Trump wants.
It won't start till spring, because
Okay.
in North Dakota, well, right now it's 30 degrees out, and we're all kind of high-fiving because it's 30 degrees out. We think it's pretty warm. You know, it wasn't but a couple of weeks ago, the temperature was 20 below. So the truth of the matter is they got to dig a pipeline through, and to dig that through, they'd have to dig through a lot of frost. So the Trump declaration, which, by the way, is complete hypocrisy on his point, because he spent a lot of his time going around saying that oh, President Obama shouldn't be doing these things. But that declaration doesn't give them the permit they need yet. It still has some more steps to go, and obviously this thing is still playing out in the courts as well.
Right, and it's playing out in the courts right here in Washington, D.C. Joel Heitkamp, host of News and Views on KFGO, we really appreciate your time today.
Thanks for the opportunity.